Hi guys, so this is Ashley Boyne Shuck, known to most of you as Arthritis Ashley. I've never actually done one of these live chats, but I figured it would be something fun to try. I guess I probably should have announced I was doing it before just logging on and starting. But if any of you are out there and you want to say hello, I'd love to see your comments. In case you're wondering, the eyeglasses that I'm wearing, or sunglasses rather, I gotta give a little plug here. They are Paws and Claws eyewear. They are new boutique frames. They are designer quality sunglasses and eyeglasses that benefit animals in need through the ASPCA and also the Mayor's Alliance for New York City's Animals. So I figured I would wear them to give them a little extra publicity. At any rate, nothing is new with me. I just figured I would come on here and see if any of you guys wanted to chat. I am open to answering any questions that you all may have. Really, I can address any topic that you would be interested in discussing. So if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, just let me know. Leave me a comment, and I will be sure to respond to your questions. In the meantime, I will just, I guess, keep blabbering for a little while. So anyone out there have any questions? I'd be happy to answer anything really. So if you want to get to know me a little bit better, or you have any questions about rheumatoid arthritis or other chronic illnesses or disability, just feel free to ask. I'm here. I'm willing to share my story. You can use me as a resource. So anything you want to know regarding life with RA or other invisible illnesses or disabilities, just let me know. Leave me a comment and I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Now that I have already given Paws and Claws eyewear a plug, I will take my sunglasses off so that I can be a little bit more personal with you all. So excuse my messy hair, but yes, Paws and Claws eyewear is where the sunglasses are from, and they benefit animals in need. Oh good, I have my first question, which is really exciting. Hi Paul, nice to chat with you, Paul. I have had RA for, let me think, 22 years now. I'm 32 years old. I got diagnosed when I was around 10 years old. So initially it was diagnosed as juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which is now called juvenile idiopathic arthritis. So basically I had and have the polyarticular form, which means it's basically in all of my joints. Luckily for me, they're not usually all affected at once. But yeah, thank you for asking, Paul. It's been a long 22 years with RA and other health issues. If you've read my book, Sick Idiot, or my other one, Chronically Positive, many of you will know that I've had dozens actually of diagnoses. So RA is probably the primary one for me, but I certainly have other health issues that I deal with on a regular basis. Unfortunately, we, as so many of you know, live with these things every day, and they become our truth. What I'm learning, I guess, and trying to navigate is that they can be our truth and they can be a part of who we are, but they don't have to be our identity. We are more than our diagnoses. So I can totally I'm reading the comments here, Paul. I'm sorry, you said you've had RA since you were 2 and you're 42 years. That's incredible. And you know what? I've got to say that I applaud you. I applaud anybody who is living with these types of conditions and managing to just get by. And if that just means getting through each day, then that's fine. But I especially admire people that have strived to live a relatively normal or productive life, because that is easier said than done when you have RA and other autoimmune or rheumatic chronic conditions. So I know there's a lot of us out there like myself and like you, Paul, who have had these conditions for several years and sometimes even decades. So I salute you, and I salute all people living with a disability or an invisible illness. Yeah, I've never really done one of these live chats, so I don't know, I don't quite know how it works. I decided I would just try it out. I didn't have a plan. This wasn't something planned. I just figured, since I had a little break here, that I would, throw one up and see if anyone had any questions. Probably repeating myself a bit, but for the new viewers that have joined, I want to let you know that I will answer any questions that you have, whether it is about my story or about living with these types of illnesses, or if it's a medical question that maybe I can direct you to a good resource where I can find you an answer. But if there's anything you want to know about me or about what life is like with rheumatoid arthritis or similar conditions, leave me a comment. I can see these comments right now live. Paul, thank you for your participation. Is there anyone out there, anyone else who wants to ask a question, or Paul, do you have any more questions? Like I said, I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to converse with you all and connect with you all. I've been a little resistant to the Facebook Live thing, but I think it is a good way to connect with people. So if any of you want to talk, I'm here. I'll stay on live for a little bit longer. If I don't get any more participants, I'll call it quits for now, and I will plan my next live chat a little bit better. But I'll stay on for a few more minutes. So if any of you want to know anything or want to share anything with me, just leave a comment on the chat, and I will answer it if any more pop up. In the meantime, what else can I chat about here? I guess I can tell a recent story that happened for those of you who didn't see it. I was recently in Philadelphia, and really long story short, a guy actually made fun of me for limping and for carrying an ace bandage, which he was a grown man, probably in his 40s. I ended up crying, which was probably not the best reaction, but it blew my mind that you can be an adult and still have to deal with this childish behavior. It's really hurtful sometimes, but I think that it's something that a lot of us will face, and a lot of us have faced it for years. I mean, I got teased for walking with a limp as a kid, as a teenager, and now as an adult. It happens all the time. So, that's something that people aren't aware of because a lot of us don't look sick, and so people don't get the severity of what we're dealing with. So when they see us limping or something like that, they might make assumptions or have the wrong idea about it. So that stigma and that negativity is something I'm always trying to erase. I see that a couple more people have joined, and that Paul has another question or comment. Let's see. Paul Wilson said, treatments have really changed over the years. We were in the hospital for 8 years straight. Seems USA is leading the way. Yeah, I think some people would consider the U.S. to be pretty much at the forefront of a lot of medical advances. However, our healthcare system still has a long way to go. I don't want to say anything bad about it. There's certainly, some great options out there and great resources for people who are sick. And thank God for some of this life-saving medicine that's out there, or at least life-changing medicine. But, you know, the U.S. still has a ways to go when it comes to our healthcare system. But Paul, you're right that just overall in the whole field of rheumatology, you know, whether it's in the U.S. or elsewhere, treatments really have changed over the years and over the past couple decades. People are no longer as severely disabled, or maybe not as severely deformed as far as their joint deformity goes. So we're really lucky to have had some great scientific and medical advancements in rheumatology. I just think we still have a long way to go, both in the healthcare system in general and also in rheumatology research. You know, it's very exciting to always get to read about the new the drug trials that are going on and new things that are out there in the pipeline. As a lot of you know, I write for healthline.com, and I get to read a lot of really exciting research about studies being done relating to RA and similar conditions. So, you know, I'm hopeful for the future. I like to say that we maybe will have a cure, you know, in our lifetimes, and if not, hopefully for the next generation. The treatments have certainly come a long way, and I think whether you subscribe to the mindset of being into the holistic and natural stuff, or you know, an integrative combination approach, or you're strictly pharmaceutical in your approach, no matter which one of those regimens you follow, I think we all can acknowledge that there's been a lot of great advances in all of those areas of medicine. And it's wonderful that we have options like that. I think that having options in our treatment and having control of our treatment is really a wonderful thing and a blessing. It's something we should be grateful for. So thanks for contributing, Paul. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm happy to answer any questions or address any concerns, or you know, I'd love to hear some of your stories. So if anyone wants to share anything or ask anything, please leave a comment on the post. I can see the comments live. I would be happy to answer any questions or provide you with any type of information or resources that I can. So I'll stay on the live chat for a bit longer, as long as we get some participation or new viewers joining. I will stay here for a little bit. I'm just sitting in the parking lot of a Starbucks. The Starbucks is kind of my home base when I'm not at home. So yeah, again, this is my first time doing a live chat. I didn't know what to expect. Maybe next time I'll plug it a little bit more in advance so that we have more participants. But for now, I just wanted to get a feel for what it's like. I think it's a really nice way to interact with people. So anyone else out there have anything to say, anything to ask, anything like that? If not, maybe I'll give it another minute or two, and if there's no further questions, I'll shut it down for now. But I'll hang out for a little bit, you know, in case any of you have anything else you want to say. For those of you that were wondering, I was doing pretty poorly yesterday. Really bad migraine, mild RA flare. I was starting to get some skin involvement with some lupus-y symptoms, and I went to the Beyonce concert with my best friend, and I was looking forward to it for a while, so I was pretty devastated when I woke up so sick yesterday. Luckily I made it. I could have felt better, but I could have felt worse, and so that's what I'm choosing to focus on. It was still fun. I managed to have fun, but it's never fun being sick, so you gotta sometimes learn to adapt and just make the best of any situation, which it certainly isn't easy. And as much as I'm a proponent of staying positive and finding the good and things like that, I want to be sure to always acknowledge that I know it's certainly not easy. And I hope that my posts never make light of it or make it sound like it's easy, because I know as much as any of you that it's certainly not. That's something that I wish people knew. I don't ever want people to feel sorry for me or pity me or feel bad. But at the same time, I sometimes wish people did know how hard it is and how serious these illnesses can be. But I think that all any of us can do is just live our truth each day and do the best we can each day, and we can share our own stories, and hopefully that educates some people and spread some awareness, because that's key in getting more funding for research for these illnesses and getting more access and rights for disabled people, and helping to erase the stigma of the chronically ill. That's all any of us can do is just live our lives and live our truths and share our story, and hope that it can educate or inspire somebody. I always say that if I can change one person's life or inspire one person or educate one person, then my job is done. Everything else is kind of icing on the cake. And luckily my books have kind of allowed me to reach a new audience of people who maybe formerly weren't involved in this chronic illness community. So it is nice to sometimes be able to reach people that maybe aren't personally invested in it, and they maybe hear your story or see a post that you wrote or what have you, and are intrigued to learn more. I think that awareness has to be sort of the keystone of everything that we do, and not everyone's meant to be a vocal advocate, and that's perfectly fine. But I think as long as you do you and you do the best you can, that's all anyone can ask for, and that's all anyone can hope for, and that's all anyone can expect. We all just have to focus on our own journeys, and if that can help other people along the way, that's fantastic. But we got to be sure not to get in that rut where we're comparing each other's situations and competing with each other, because those things are never going to help us with our cause, which is to spread awareness, and which is to bring attention and to shed some light on these conditions. So I will continue doing the best I can, and I hope that you guys will do the same. I'm just going to give it maybe 2.5 more minutes here, just to make it like an even 20-minute thing. Like I said, I'll plan ahead better for the next time. That way people who want to hop on to the live chat will be able to. I'll give a little bit more advance notice. And the next time I do it, if you want to come with some questions prepared, again, whether it is something where you want to know a good resource for something, or you want to hear my story, or you want me to ask a question to fellow viewers or followers about their experience, I'm happy to facilitate that as well. Until then, you can always ask me questions on my Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. You can email me at arthritis.ashley@gmail.com. I tend to be able to reply to that more on an individual basis, whereas sometimes on Facebook I miss comments and replies and things like that, and I don't want you guys to ever think I'm ignoring you. I just don't always see them. So you can always email me. In general, great resources to check out are, the Arthritis Foundation, the Lupus Foundation, the American College of Rheumatology, Creaky Joints, the International Foundation for Autoimmune Arthritis, the Autoimmune Disease Association of America. I mean, there's so many great resources out there, and thank goodness for the internet, because I don't know how we would access this information and fellow patients if we didn't have this great technology. So that's really wonderful. And I will open it up to questions one more time, but before I do, I do just want to mention also that I do have 2 books out about my life with chronic illness. One is called Chronically Positive. One is called Sick Idiot. Sick Idiot's funny. It's a humorous health memoir. A portion of proceeds from that one goes to 10 different health-related charities. And Chronically Positive is a little bit more of like a self-helpy, kind of inspirational book, a collection of my Arthritis Ashley blogs, and it is a little bit more real and raw, honest glimpse at life with illness. I have a fiction book out too called To Exist, not related to my health stuff, but again, I'm always trying to establish my identity beyond that of just being a sick person or a patient. So if you want to check out my fiction book, it's all 3 of my books are on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, various independent booksellers, and websites. And then, of course, there's healthline.com. That's health, Health, line, line.com. And on Healthline, I write rheumatoid arthritis articles. So they're all medical articles. They're all research-based. A lot of them quote other patients. And a lot of them are about new and exciting advances in the rheumatology field and in rheumatology research. So that's really exciting. If you want to check out Healthline, they have a great and very thriving RA community online. Something else cool that I want to mention, and you can find out information about this on my website, abshuck.com, is I work with Sanguine Biosciences, and Sanguine will pay you $50 to donate blood from the comfort of your own home. They'll come to you. They have a mobile phlebotomy team, and they will come to you and they use the blood that you donate. It's just like not even giving blood like you would at, say, a blood bank. It's more of just a blood draw like you would do for any blood test. They draw your blood and they use it to research RA and RA treatments. So it's really exciting because you don't have to leave your house. You basically are just sitting there and they come to you, they take your blood, and then it's used to help potentially yourself and other patients, and you get paid $50 for it. And then I think they also donate money to a charity of your choosing too, if you choose to participate. It's not a hoax. It's completely legit. I will vouch for it. It's a wonderful idea. It's not available in every area, but there's a lot of cities where they do it, and as long as you live, within I think 100 miles or something of the city. So definitely check that out. It's been posted on my Arthritis Ashley Facebook page and and my Ashley Boyne Shuck Facebook page. There is also a link to more information about Sanguine Biosciences and their RA studies, and how you can get paid to donate blood for RA research on my website, abshuck.com, which is abshuck.com. And up at the top it will say get paid to donate blood. So you can click on that and you can learn about how Sanguine will come to you, pay you money to use your blood for RA research. It's awesome. It's a win-win for you as long as it's available in your area. So check that out. Now before I go, I just want to open it up to questions one more time. Does anybody have any questions or comments? If so, please leave a comment. I can see them live right now. Paul Wilson, thank you so much for your participation. You've asked several questions and left several comments, and I really appreciate that. Is there anyone else who has a question for me or wants to comment? I will leave the option open for a few more seconds here. If I don't see any come through, then we will just reconvene another time. And hopefully next time we'll have a few more participants and a few more questions that I can answer. Okay, if there's nothing else, then I will give my friends at Paws and Claws Eyewear another plug. These sunglasses, all their eyewear, their optical frames, a portion of proceeds go to animal charities such as the ASPCA and the Mayor's Alliance for New York City's Animals. So not only are you getting some fabulous eyeglasses or sunglasses, but you're also helping a good cause. So If there's no more questions, I will put on my Paws and Claws eyewear sunglasses, and I will talk to you all another day. I hope that you all have a beautiful day filled with sunshine, either of the Mother Nature's doing, or, you know, some days you have to make your own sunshine. So I hope you can do that and find something to smile about today. And I hope that you're all feeling relatively well. And it was very nice chatting with you all. Thanks again, Paul. I just saw your comment. So thank you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Bye. Have a great day. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just saw one more comment come through. I'm gonna take a second to respond to this one. I know I just said goodbye, but Richard Malcolm. Hi, you said you've had RA for 7 years now, and it's hard for you to see a future, it's hard for you to move, and you feel that you're taking pills for nothing. I'm so sorry to hear this, Richard. I gotta say, I can relate. I know I'm happy and upbeat and positive, but I know how you feel. I've had RA now for 22 years. There are days where I think I'm definitely going to end up in a wheelchair, or just unable to walk, you know. I fear the future quite frequently. You know, will I ever have kids? Will I need a wheelchair someday? How many more surgeries am I going to have? How many more drugs am I going to have to try? These are things I think about a lot. So while I do always focus on being positive and keeping a sense of humor and living a full and productive life and trying to make the best of my situation, I do recognize that it's really hard. I would be totally lying if I didn't say that there were days that I got pretty down in the dumps about it. It can be really depressing to have these illnesses, and that's the honest to God truth. So I understand what you're saying. But what you have to remember, I think, is that, you know, no one ever said it would be easy. I think that in life, everybody has their own problems and struggles. Ours might be RA or other health issues, sometimes multiple health issues. But other people have problems too, and things that they might be dealing with privately that you might not ever know anything about. So I have found myself before in the trap of comparing to other people. So like, I'll look at my career and think, wow, if I wasn't sick, I could be doing so much more. Or I see people running in marathons and things like that, and I'm kind of not jealous or bitter, but just a little bit envious. Like, I wish I could do that, or at least I wish I had the option to do that, you know. So it's really hard not to compare your journey and your life to other people's lives, but you got to remember that your journey is your own, and you can only live your life and live your truth and make the best of what you've been given. And it's not easy, and no one ever said it would be easy, but you know, we can't change our circumstance. Right now, there's not a cure. Someday there might be, hopefully. But for now, we just have to do the best we can. So some days that you might not even be able to get out of bed, and that might be your best, and that's okay. And other days might be better. You just have to do the best you can on any given day. And if you do that, then that's all anybody really can hope for. And that's all any of us can strive for, whether we have health problems or not. But I would say to just try, when you're feeling down like that, to think about something that makes you happy. You might be in pain or you might be suffering, but you know, there's the saying that every day might not be good, but there's something good in every day. It sounds very cheesy and cliche and corny, and I get that. It sounds preachy, I get that. But it's true. I mean, even in the most tragic times of my life, the most difficult times of my life, you know, reflecting back, there was always some, even if it was a teeny little tiny glimmer of something good, there was always something good. So I think if we try to focus on those things and focus on what we can do, instead of always dwelling on what we can't do and comparing ourselves to others, I think that's probably the best approach. And just doing whatever we can to get healthier and be stewards of our own health. You know, sometimes, Richard, we we do try and fail a bunch of different treatments. So it's trial and error. I mean, I've had this for 22 years now, and I've been on like every drug, or at least every type of drug, every class of drug that I could be. And I've done stuff naturally, holistically. I've done opioids, narcotics, biologics, DMARDs, NSAIDs, steroids, chemotherapy. I've tried so many things, and it is frustrating that a lot of it just doesn't work. So you just got to keep moving ahead and find what works best for you. And sometimes that might only work for a short period of time, and then it will fail, or, maybe give you bad side effects, and you just got to try something new. It is a very, very difficult journey, but it's up to us how we choose to think about it and what we're going to do with our lives despite it. It is a life-changing diagnosis, that's for sure. And it can totally just destroy your body, but it doesn't have to destroy your life. We just have to adapt our goals sometimes. Like, my life doesn't look how I thought it would. If you would have asked me when I was younger, my life isn't what I pictured, but it's still wonderful. I just had to adapt some things and change some things, and it took me a while to get to the mindset where I'm at now, where I realize I choose my attitude, and I choose my feelings, and I almost, to a degree, choose my thoughts. That doesn't mean I'm 100% healthy or pain-free, but I kind of am at the point where it's like, it is what it is. Like, we don't deserve these illnesses, we don't deserve this pain, but we have it. So what are we gonna do now? So I really urge you and implore you to just keep on keeping on, keep moving forward. We're all in this together. We're all rooting for you. We're all rooting for each other. It's really hard, and it's really hard to talk about sometimes. So, Richard, just know that there are a lot of us out here who understand what you're going through, and you can always use my page as a forum to talk to other people, myself and others who are dealing with the same thing. You're not alone. It feels like you're alone a lot. I get that. I feel like I'm alone a lot. But thank goodness for the internet and for social media and technology, because it's definitely made the world a smaller place, and I think has allowed a lot of us to connect that would never have met otherwise. So use it as a resource. Use it to your advantage. Use it as a way to talk to other people who get what you're going through. Because I'm sure there's days that you just don't want to move forward anymore. And I'm sure there's days that you question, why me? Why did this happen to me? And I think that's natural, and it's human, and to a degree it's healthy. It's when we get stuck there that becomes where it could be a detriment to our health. So we all need to accept and sort of embrace those human feelings, but at the same time, Nanette McGrath, you just took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, at the same time, it could be worse. There are people that would kill to be in our position. I think that on my worst day, I'm like laying in bed feeling sorry for myself, and then I think about young people who they didn't even get to wake up that morning. Or, I might be worried about being in a wheelchair someday, but there's people that have been, paralyzed their whole life, that have never even gotten to walk or gotten to experience certain things. And I guess, I got diagnosed as a kid, age 10, but there were people that got diagnosed when they were 2 and they didn't get to even experience playing sports or whatever, so I don't like to do the whole comparison thing where, it could always be worse. Like, sometimes that, it sounds cliche, but it's also true. It's, a lot of these things that people think are cliche, they're repeated over and over for a reason, because they are true. They are true. But at the same time, just because other people have it worse, that doesn't make our personal journey any better, or I should say any easier. So we just have to figure out a way to find that balance. I call it realistic optimism, where I try to be positive and optimistic and happy, but I'm also realistic. So I'm realistic about the reality of these conditions, and I'm prepared. I know what they can do to the body, and at a certain level, I've accepted it. But I don't let it define me. I always stay hopeful that things might get better. So I wish I had better advice, Richard, but, it's something that you just got to work at every day. Anything takes work. Anything worth having takes work, and that includes your health and your life. And I've said this a few times, and so I know I'm repeating myself, but nobody ever said that life would be easy. Nobody ever guarantees when you're born that you're going to be healthy and thriving and physically fit, and that's something that we all aspire to, but it's not guaranteed. A lot of people are suffering in a lot of different ways, and yes, Nanette, you're totally right. You just earlier on the chat, I basically said exactly what Nanette is saying, and that is that you have to just make do with what you have. You do the best you can at any given time. Your best might look different from someone else's best, and that's okay. We don't have to compare ourselves to anybody. We don't have to compete with anybody. You just do what you can with what you have, where you are, and that's all you can strive to do. And if you're doing that, I'd say you're handling it pretty well. It's a hard journey, but you're not alone. None of you are alone, and there's a lot of us that can relate. So just know that, and know that on my page you have a resource to connect with other people who are dealing with the same stuff. And I don't mean to plug my books again, but if you read my books, then there's probably some stuff in there that will also kind of hit home and kind of touch you, and hopefully speak to you and let you know that you aren't alone, and there are ways to cope with these illnesses and accept them without letting them define you. Let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any other questions or comments here. So many of you are now tuning in, which is nice. So thank you, especially to Paul Wilson, Richard Malcolm, Nanette McGrath. I appreciate you all tuning in and participating. Does anyone else have a comment or a question for me before I go? Happy to answer any questions you might have. I said this earlier, this is the first time I've done a live chat, so next time I will get the word out sooner so that people can come sit down and join us and hopefully participate and have some questions prepared. But if there's no more comments or questions, I will just wrap it up again. You can like my Facebook page, Arthritis Ashley. There's also one called Ashley Boyne Shuck that you can follow. I have 3 books out called To Exist, Sick Idiot, and Chronically Positive. They're on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, etc. Sanguine Biosciences, be sure to check it out. You can get info on it on my website, abshuck.com. They will pay you $50 to donate blood for RA research, and they will come to your home. So that's really cool. Like, they come to you, they pay you money for your blood, and you get paid, $50, and they donate money to charity. And then that blood that you donate goes to rheumatoid arthritis research. So that is like awesome to me. So you can get that information at my website, abshuck.com. And then go to the top, it'll say get paid to donate blood, and you can learn all about Sanguine Biosciences. And lastly, healthline.com. They have a great rheumatoid arthritis community, and I am one of their lead arthritis reporters. So there's a lot of medical research-based articles on there. So it's different than my Arthritis Ashley blog. They're news articles about upcoming advances in rheumatology. So you can check that out as well. And thank you so much, Nanette, for your comments. And also Shauna Holder, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but thank you for the thank you. And Paige wrote, your books kept me strong in the hospital. Thank you, Paige. That means so much to me. I don't want this to sound cheesy or disingenuous or anything, but that honestly, stuff like that keeps me going, because sometimes I wonder like why I do what I do and who cares about what I have to say. And you know, I worry about the fact that I was so vulnerable in putting my story out there in my books. And I thought, like, who am I to write a book? Who do I think I am to write a book and share my story? Who's going to care about my story? So I question that sometimes. So it really makes me feel good, Paige, and everyone who's read my book. That's so awesome. And just so you guys know, if you don't know already, a portion of proceeds from Sick Idiot go to 10 different health-related charities, including the Arthritis Foundation and the Lupus Foundation and several others. So, okay, I'm going to give this about 30 more seconds and then sign off. So if any of you have anything else, leave a comment now. If not, comment on my page or email me at any time. You can find me all over social media, so shouldn't be hard. Just be patient with me, because sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you, but I do see all your comments and I appreciate them very, very much. Someone today asked me what motivates me to get out of bed in the morning, and part of that answer is you guys, because it's awesome to know that there's other people who relate to what I'm going through and who I can help with my words. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful for all of you, and I'm wishing you all a relatively healthy and hopefully pain-free day. Thank you. Hope to talk to you guys again soon. Bye.